Greetings out there, it's Dave Duford from Final Expense Agent Mentor at feagentmentor.com, and chances are you're watching this video today because you're very intrigued and interested to find some kind of lead source to help you get out there and sell final expense business. My goal for this video is to introduce you to the Avatar Final Expense lead, as well as why they're good and how I do business, where I'm going to attempt to hopefully sell you on why doing business with my approach is better than the other vendors that are out there that sell final expense avatar leads. So let's go ahead and take it from the top and get right into it. So moving on here, this is the overview of what we're going to talk about. You're going to learn about who I am, what I do, if you haven't met me already, and then we're going to talk about where to learn more about the specifics of avatar leads. The goal of this video really is just to tell you how the buying process works and what to expect when you're purchasing them. We'll get into how you can find out the details of how avatar leads work, what the turnaround time is, kind of the details and intricacies of that momentarily. Then we're going to go about the benefits of avatar leads, why to buy avatar leads from Final Expense Agent Mentor versus other vendors out there, because there's certainly other options you have. And then we're going to go into the cost of the leads, how to place an order, realistic expectations upon the fulfillment of avatar leads, and then lastly we'll finish with some frequently asked questions. So let me introduce myself. My name is Dave Duford. I am the owner of Final Expense Agent Mentor at feagentmentor.com. I am a licensed life insurance agent, have been since 2011. I still personally produce in the field as an agent, as well as recruit agents and train them into competent, financially successful, independent final expense agents. I've been doing that since 2013. Again, what makes me different is most of the people I work with are brand new to final expense. They're either brand new licensed agents or they come from another niche. And they work with me because they feel that support, training, and having a track to run on, a system of success, is important for those short and long-term goals. So if you're looking for something like that and you'd like to talk more about that, go down here to the bottom of the link. You'll see it. It's feagentmentor.com. Check my website out, learn more about what I do. And the last thing I want to mention is I just recently released my book, The Official Guide to Selling Final Expense Insurance. It is listed #1 on Amazon. So if you're looking for more resources on how to sell final expense, great video to check out and learn more about. Moving on here. So like I said, this video is primarily to teach you how to buy final expense leads. Kind of may sound like a silly process to buy final expense avatar leads, but not necessarily to give you the inner details and workings of what exactly an avatar lead is. I think it's important to know what the avatar lead is, how it's sourced, what the background of it is. And if you go to this link here, that's going to show you exactly what you need to do in order to learn more about the final expense avatar leads that you're investigating. Now, when you get here, this will be the page you're on. Feel free to check it out. Go through it, scroll through it, either watch the video. I've got recordings that you can listen to of real live final expense lead calls, avatar lead calls, so you can hear what it's like before you can sample it before you actually buy. When you're interested in buying, you'll scroll through here. It's not up here yet, but you're going to see other PayPal buy tabs like right here at the bottom, and you can go ahead and do your business with me that way once you're ready to. Also, if you can't get to the link here, I'm going to take you back to this page. There's going to be a little eye up here in the corner, okay? And that eye up here in the corner is going to link you directly to the website that I just showed you. And if you go down here, the link is in the summary page of this YouTube video as well. Now, so keep moving. So what are the benefits of avatar leads? Okay, there's some primary benefits, because at Final Expense Agent Mentor, when I bring an agent on, we're either going to do direct mail. That's where we want to be, #1. If we can't do it, then we're going to go to avatar final expense leads. I like these leads a lot. They've got some definite advantages. And the first one is, if you just don't have a lot of money, final expense avatar leads are a perfect alternative to get you going and get you in front of people in a quick fashion. Biggest reason is direct mail takes thousands of dollars to do correctly and consistently. It takes 4 to 5 weeks to turn those leads around. So there's a lot of money tied up into those leads. Whereas avatars take usually 3 to 5 days to turn around. You're not going to tie up a lot of money. And if you get out there and have an honest investment, an honest attempt to work these leads, you're going to find deals in these. May not be as much, but because the lead acquisition cost is so low, #3 down here, it's a great return on investment opportunity. You can get out there, even if you sell 10 to 15% of your leads, you're going to return in excess of 6 to 7 to 1 return on your investment in many cases A personal example, this week I actually worked the avatar leads part of the week. I wrote 5 out of 25 leads that I had, and I probably had about 4,500 in premium. Excellent week. I'd be happy with half of that. Of course, your mileage is going to vary, but ultimately that's the kind of upside potential there is with the leads if you honestly get out there and work the leads. So moving on here. Now is going to proceed to be my sales pitch as to why to buy Final Expense Agent Mentor avatar leads versus other vendors. If you're like me, I can tell you as an agent, I really don't trust many lead vendors out there. A lot of these lead vendors are scam artists. They sell a bunch of garbage. They're trying to make a quick buck. And it drives me nuts because as an agent, I always think, if I find a good lead vendor, why the hell would I want to leave him, right? If the guy provides the leads that I want in the fashion that I want, and he's consistent about it, and the price is reasonable, dude, I want that all day long, okay? And so I always thought that as an agent. And so when I got to the point that I wanted to offer the avatar leads to the public, I wanted to keep that in mind because it's so important not to take the customer for granted. It's so stupid to just try to do a one-off deal that just results in one particular sale and never any more after that. I mean, again, it's like common sense in my mind, but for a lot of these vendors, they just suck at it. So anyways, what I'm going to try to do is go into the process of why I think my deal for avatars is a better value proposition for you, the agent. So first here, we are hugely focused on compliance against the do not call list, and this is extremely important. Fellows, we live in a very litigious time. We have lawyers looking for ways to sue if we look at them cross-eyed. And in this business of solicitation, with the laws that have come down to prevent the free market attempt to solicit others for business, we are a target. And you cannot ignore this fact. You may think I'm blowing this up, but the reality is a lot of vendors take for granted that and a risk to just make as much money as possible. I'll give you a perfect example. Remember, I'm an agent. And when I was in the process of working avatars for the first time, there's a vendor out there, very, very commonly heard of vendor, that I bought 100 avatar leads from just to see how do these leads work. Ultimately, we scrubbed them, me and my partner, scrubbed these against the do not call lists out there. There's a federal, state, and a cell phone list. And to our shock, out of the 100 that we purchased, 30% of those, 30 of them, were non-compliant leads. That means they were cell phones. That means they were not on the state list or the federal list. And if somebody, started a paper trail there and went back and attempted to sue us, we were in big problem because we broke the law. Now, you could say you could blame the lead vendor, but the reality is that you're a part of that process. And I have heard of agents who have been shaken down by lawyers and regulators in states because there was a paper trail created where they visited a lead, and all of a sudden the guy's really a lawyer and he gets sued. And so my whole point in here is saying is that we take very specific, deliberate steps to be as compliant as possible. We scrub against all 3 of those databases: the cell phone database, the state-regulated database, and the DNC on a federal basis. And that almost eliminates all the compliance concerns. Now, it's not perfect. There's no perfect compliance out there because things are always changing and in flux. But the point is we make a valid, honest effort to do so. And that makes your lead purchases more protected for yourself. That's very, very important. Secondly, we have a faster turnaround time than many vendors. Again, one of the vendors I worked with in the past that sells avatar leads likes to front end his leads and doesn't have the capacity to work these leads in order to get them turned around in a timely fashion. If you want leads with this guy, you're going to have to wait 2 or 3 weeks normally to fulfill a basic 20 or 30 lead order with him. With us, we've got the capacity to take on orders. And if we reach capacity, we can add more. But there's a certain point where we do hit a ceiling, and I personally have zero interest in offering any more leads to people, to agents, if we can't fulfill those leads in a reasonable amount of time. To me, in my mind, again, as an agent, I think, well, geez, if I'm going to get leads from this guy and he's going to fulfill them on time, and I'm serious about this business, why would I want to take my business elsewhere? Meaning, as a marketer, as a guy who's selling leads, I want agents that stick around and have recurring orders, because those guys, are easier to deal with. I don't have to sell them on this whole approach. And so for me, as a guy selling leads, my intention is to offer a consistent quality service because I know the good agents are going to stick around and they appreciate that stuff. So having that in there, having the fast turnaround time and not overloading capacity is very important. Again, typically once we get an order in, within the next 2 days, we actually have the lead processed and starting. And usually, like I said, after the third day, third or fourth day mostly, you're going to start getting your leads back from that campaign. Our data is highly accurate versus others who use shoddy, out-of-date data. This is important. Again, personal example, because remember, I'm a final expense agent too. I bought a lead from another avatar source. I went to a little town called Dalton, Georgia, and knocked on the door. Nobody answered. So I picked up the phone, and I said, hey, I'm calling you. I'm just wondering what's going on and if you're going to show up sometime soon. And so the guy said, I'm just up the road. I'll be there in a second. So I asked him, I said, I'm just curious. Where exactly do you live? Because I don't even know if I got the right address. He says, well, I live in Waycross, Georgia. Well, you think, no, it's in Georgia still. Well, let me show you on a map here just how different the distance was. Okay. This is what you're looking at in Waycross, Georgia. See if the Georgia or the map will agree with me. Yeah. So I live in Chattanooga. I traveled here to Georgia. Well, this dude lived in Waycross, Georgia. Okay. That's 5 hours away. If you're lucky not to hit a lot of traffic. And that's probably like 6 hours away. I'm not going to drive 6 hours away for a single appointment. Okay. And I don't expect to buy leads and have crappy, way out of date data that doesn't represent where the person actually lives. Now, again, things like this do slip through the roots or slip through the cracks. We provide replacements for leads like this, but still, this is just ridiculous. I mean, come on, look at this. There's no way I would ever run anything like this. And that's what these garbage data people do. They don't consider that. And then you're always requesting refunds and credits, and just a pain in the ass. So I don't recommend that personally. And what we do, we use better quality data. Gives us better quality, more up-to-date addresses, phone numbers, and all of that. It makes a big difference. Now, we have more data collection on the call that's going to help recall rate. And when I say recall rate, when you call on the person over the phone or in person, look, it doesn't matter what kind of lead you're going to use. A lot of these people say and claim they never did it. They forgot, okay? Well, you got to say things and show things that get them to say, oh, yeah, I remember that. Perfect example of that is a lead card. A lead card, you show them, they sign off on it. Hey, yeah, I guess I did. Now they got to let you in. With the avatar leads, you don't have anything physical you could show. So what we collect is desired beneficiaries. We collect favorite hobbies. And then also we collect how much face amount they want. So we don't necessarily get all of that. Sometimes they won't tell us, but we'll get some of it. And when we're on the phone, say, hey, yeah, you said that you wanted Jimmy to be your beneficiary, and then you wanted about a $5,000 face amount in coverage. And they're like, yeah, I guess I kind of remember that. That's the kind of hook you need to, again, leverage your way into the door. A lot of these places don't offer it. They say something else like your favorite color or whatever. But we get a ton more data. And again, helps recall rate significantly to book more appointments. And then lastly, ours are competitively priced. We're not the cheapest. We're not the most expensive. But we do have a niche in one of our cool little offerings on a recurring basis where if you place orders with us on an automated basis, on a weekly basis, we give you a discount on leads. Very cool how we set that up, and something that I'm excited to offer and tell you about a little bit more coming up. Now, so what are the costs for avatar telemarketing leads? So first of all, the minimum order is always 30 leads. It's $7.50 per lead. For one-time orders, less than 100. If you buy 100 or more, it's $6.50 per lead for one-time orders for more than 100. Okay, so if you're a big buyer, if you're a call center, that's what you want to buy. Okay, it's $6.50 for ongoing weekly orders of 30 or more avatar leads. This is very cool. So what I'm able to offer now is that if you're a recurring purchasing buyer, if you intend to use avatar leads, even if it's just for 2 weeks at a time, I want to give you a discount. Okay, I believe the best way people get results out of leads is if they always have leads. The worst way to get results is just to buy one here, buy one there, take 2 or 3 weeks off, buy one again. If you have a consistent, dedicated stream of leads coming in, you are always busy and you're always seeing people. So we do give a discount if you go that direction. Very good. Nobody else is doing this. This is very powerful stuff, and it's going to help you sell more, and we're going to give you a discount to do it. And then, cool enough, on top of that, we do have an age filter. The typical age filter is 50 to 85. A lot of people don't like working anything below the age of 60, so we have a 60 to 85 filter for an additional $1 per lead. So if you look at the top there, the minimum orders, if you want recurring orders at 60 to 85, it's going to be $750 a week on a recurring basis. Now, understand, though, when you take the 50 to 60s out, or 50 to 59s out, you're going to have to require more data. We'll go into more detail about that, but be open-minded that you're going to have to add in a little bit more than just what you would normally have to, because you're taking that out from the call center. Now you got the call list. Now you got to add more in to make up for it. So there's a kind of tit for tat going on here, just being upfront with you, and we'll get more into that in a minute. Cool. So how do you fill out an order form to actually buy an avatar campaign through me? So first of all, you're going to go back to that website, or you're going to go click the I here, whatever you take to get there, and then you're going to go back to this web page, okay? And then what you're going to do is click on the wherever you see the PayPal buttons. You're going to see right now I just have the one-time order. You're going to see recurring order. You're going to see with an age filter. There's going to be multiple options. So make sure that you're aware of that and what you're buying. Very important. You're going to click on the Pay Now button, and it's going to load. Okay, and then ultimately you're going to get to the website where PayPal tells you how you're going to go ahead and log into this. So what you're going to do here is you're going to go over here, okay, and you're going to fill out your information. And very important, very, very important, down here you're going to see something that says add. It says add special instructions to seller. You're going to fill out at least 5 counties for one-time orders, and then if you have no age filter, or at least 6 counties for one-time orders. Also, if you do recurring orders, you're going to segment each one by number. So this would mean campaign 1. Once you get payment there, we'll hit payment or campaign 2 in the following week. If you exclude zip codes, you can see right here above the webcam which ones are excluding out of these counties. So very important to understand. So going back here, make sure we covered everything. Make sure you add enough data into those, especially if you get the age filter. So for recurring orders, when you're able to input buyer's notes, delineate at least 2 or more areas to target each and every other week. Below each campaign designation lists the name of the county and the state of the county that you want to target. Again, I just showed you the example. It was the county name and then the state. Be specific. Make sure you list that. And then below that, if you do not want to target certain zip codes, make sure you say exclude the following zip codes and then list them out. Okay, very simple. Okay, now moving on here. Realistic expectations for lead order fulfillment. Before I get into that, so once you do the PayPal purchase, I get notified. I'll confirm the order with you. Make sure you put an email address in there that you actually check. And then I'll confirm that we did receive it and we're starting the process of it, and then relist the counties that you got. And then, like I said, 3 to 5 business days from there, you'll begin to get leads for that particular area. So what are the realistic expectations for lead order fulfillment? So first of all, sometimes leads will take longer than expected to fulfill. Again, I am all about transparency here, guys. I've been on the agent side of buying leads my entire career. I know what frustrates me, and a lot of the times it's about just being upfront about expectations. The one thing I can't control, it doesn't matter what lead house is out there, they can't control if one area is going to actually pick up the phone and say yes to a solicitation. Okay, we know that some areas perform better than others just based off of personal experience, and sometimes good areas perform poorly because there may be some other group out there telemarketing into this area as well as us, and so that diminishes the results of what we would normally expect. So, and again, you have to anticipate the worst and be able to plan around that. And the best solution, if we end up having slow fulfillment time, is just to give us more areas to call. We want to fulfill your order. That's our goal. We don't want to just kind of let it hang out there and not go anywhere. We want to get you to the point where your deal is fulfilled. I mean, why would we want it any other way? That's how we get more money from you, and you buy more consistently through us. So if you're not getting leads or they're slow within the first 3 to 5 days, let us know. We'll add more data. My partner will be on top of it. If things look slow, he may email you directly and say, hey, we need some more data. But understand that's the biggest challenge in any kind of telemarketing now. It's just the limit of data that's out there. And so it's always a good idea to be more open-minded to having more ability to call on more areas just because of that unfortunate reality that we're in. And yes, sometimes these leads will be total idiots to deal with. Okay, so if you're new to this, look, there's going to be some complete morons that claim they never got the call, that claim that you're lying, they don't remember anything even after you try to refresh your memory, you know, blah, blah, blah. There's all this garbage that's out there. Sometimes you'll get crazies and mouth breathers responding back that they lied, you never did this, whatever. Try to take it with a grain of salt. That is something that does happen from time to time. And my findings is they're just either, unfortunately, have memory loss problems or they're absolutely crazy. And you get that sometimes with direct mail too. So it's just not relegated to the telemarketing avatar type of leads. So anyways, just some realistic expectations I wanted to throw out there to you in order to be prepared well for any kind of lead purchases you do. And we're going to end with some pretty long, frequently asked questions just to make sure I've covered everything important. So first of all, how long does it take to begin getting leads to fulfill an entire order? I've covered this a couple times, but just to make sure, in a general, normal sense, you're going to start getting leads within 3 to 5 business days. You're usually going to fulfill your lead order between 1 and 2 weeks. 2 weeks is kind of stretching it. That's if the area is very slow. 1 week if it's kind of a normal area where we have pretty good, decent response. Again, this is all contingent upon you providing enough data. Hopefully I made that abundantly clear. And there may be the requirement to add more in order to make it better if it's a very low performing area. Do I get recordings? No. And let me explain why. Adding recordings is an administrative cost burden. We have very competitive prices. I think listening to recordings is the greatest way to convince yourself a lead sucks. Look, you know, some of these people, you're catching them off guard. They're on the toilet. They're on the phone with somebody else. They're watching Wheel of Fortune, Steve Harvey. God knows what they're doing. Their mind isn't quite there when the avatar person starts pitching them. And so they may sound a little weird at first. But look, if they conclude to the call and give us all this information about beneficiaries, face amounts, favorite hobbies, there's something to that because they could have hung up at any point. So it's important to understand that that's why we don't offer the recordings. It's not we're trying to hide anything. It just takes a dedicated person paying a wage, listening to each and every lead, then putting into a spreadsheet, uploading it to a server, and it's just something that we don't want to go down because I don't really want to charge an arm and a leg. You just have to trust me on the process as an agent that listening to leads is dumb. Now, if you get somebody that just sounds way off kilter, get with us. We'll see what we can do, and we'll try to help you out the best we can. All right, so how did these leads arrive? Good question. So they're going to come in an Excel sheet. It'll have all the information I mentioned, the address, the phone number, all the data we collected, beneficiaries, hobbies, all that stuff, as well as we can get it, meaning sometimes they don't give us hobbies, sometimes it's watching TV or some crap. So anyways, you know, we give you all that in a spreadsheet, just in a simple Excel spreadsheet, nothing more complicated than that. What's the lead replacement policy? If the lead lives outside of the area you ordered, if their address is different, we'll replace that. Okay, you know, we don't want you doing what I did, where I had to drive 5 hours potentially. That's stupid. So we want to replace that if we mistakenly did something wrong. Again, you know, when we make a mistake, we recognize that and work hard to fix it. Lastly, how do the recurring orders work? So this is kind of special, and it's important you understand that. First of all, if you want just a one-time order, you place the one-time order. As long as you got all the information, there's enough data, it's going to take about 3 to 5 business days to get your leads back. Now with the recurring orders, it's a little bit different. So I'm going to go into detail here to explain what to expect. So first of all, if you want to set up a recurring order, you have to place your order by Monday. You have to pay by Monday. If you pay by Tuesday or you pay on Wednesday or any other of the week, you're not going to start your leads to the following week. Our goal is to have more recurring orders than anything else in this business, and so we're trying to control and make it a little bit less of a hassle having 20 different orders at one time and all sorts of different days. We're trying to keep everything consolidated in a rigorous, kind of delineated, disciplined fashion. So if you want a recurring order, it's due on Monday if you want the lead order generation to start on Wednesday. Okay, so Monday's draft covers the order on Wednesday that starts on Wednesday. Leads typically, again, are delivered to you sometime on Thursday at that point, and then continuing each day after that. Now, here's what's different about this. The recurring order hits every Monday. So you pay on Monday, then the leads are going to start generating on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You're going to pay again on the next Monday. But this is for that second campaign, not the first one. So if your first order didn't fully clear, it's going to keep running. Then your second order is going to run on top of that too. So you may have two concurrent orders at the same time. But the reason we do that, again, is to keep the lead flow consistent, because some areas will be slower, just like direct mail, and some will be faster. So if you always have a concurrent ongoing lead order, you're always going to have people to see, and you're never going to run out of people to see. So understand that. You know, you're going to get charged every week on Monday for the recurring amount that you requested. Then we're going to go down to that second order. If you've got more than that, on the third week, we start the third order. And then once you're through all the orders that you put down or all the campaigns that you designated, we'll start over again at number one. And you have to understand that the best practice to this is to have at least 3 or 4 territories total, because when you have that many territories, it allows you to extend the life of the avatar lead. The biggest challenge with these leads is longevity. You can hit a huge area, somewhere even as big as Dallas, and do a ton of lead generation over and over and over again. And if you don't switch that area out, it's just going to eventually burn out. You're just not going to get as many leads out of that area. But if you have segmented list 1, 2, 3, and 4, you're going to hit one week, then the second, third, fourth, and then you're going to go back after a month of laying it off. They haven't heard from you. It hasn't been pounded on for all 4 weeks. That's going to extend the life of those leads. It can be done. I know a guy in Michigan who did telemarketing leads for 7 years before he finally burnt the area out. Okay, but he had the willingness to go in a 150-mile radius because he was ordering that frequently and that much leads. Do you have to go that high? I don't know. It just depends on where you live. But it's important to at least have 2 separate areas to target on a recurring order basis. Like I said, this maximizes your abilities. It maximizes your capabilities on making avatars consistent. My personal example, I live in Chattanooga. Basically what I do when I do avatars is I'll target Knoxville. That's about an hour and a half away. I'll go ahead and even pull up a map to show you what I do. So I'll target, so I live here. I'll go up to Knoxville for 1 week. Then I'll go do North Georgia. That's where I was last week, where I wrote a lot of business. And then I'll go over to Huntsville. I'll hit Huntsville up. I might hit this little area up here, kind of where 20 and 59 intersect. And then I'll go over to, I might even go over here to the Smoky Mountains and hit that area. So that's about 4 or 5 areas. Once I get done with those areas, I just repeat it over again because that's just what works well. You know, you're not going to burn an area out. You know, and these are great leads to get recurring, but if you just don't switch it up, that's where the problems lie. So that's it for the avatar leads. If you've got any questions at all, go down here, leave me a comment. Feel free to go to my website and click on the contact button to contact me directly. If there's something I haven't covered that I need to, I'll be more than happy to. I personally reply to all requests. If there's anything I can do for you, just again, reach out to me, ask me questions before you order. I want you to be fully 100% confident this is right for you. And if you're ready to place an order, again, it's very simple. Just go to that website again. You got the eye in the corner up here or down here. You can click on the link. Then find the PayPal buttons. Make sure you select the one you want, whether it's a one-time order, recurring order, or if you want the age filters added to either. You're going to see individual buttons for each. Place that order and we'll get on it. And my name's Dave Duford at Final Expense Agent Mentor at feagentmentor.com. Take care.